What's up, everybody? Welcome to Campaign Killer, a show here on the Pause Games YouTube channel where we tackle all kinds of awesome video game story modes, and for every single game that we complete here on the show, $100 is donated to cystic fibrosis research. So without any further ado, let's dive into the game. I wish I didn't start with no health. I'm just tired of having to collect fucking health at the beginning of every single phase. Damn it to fucking hell, dude. I'm so over this. Oh my god. This fight would have been over with already if it weren't for A, my complete lack of health coming into the fight, and B, the stupid little fucking bullshit crawler guys. And maybe if we got stuck in a few less corners as well. Damn it. Yeah, it's a one-shot for these fucking pieces of garbage, too, because of the lack of health. Damn it. Ow. Like, if it was actually just... I wouldn't be having this problem right now. If it was actually just like a 1v1 type of deal, as I feel like it should be. Damn it. Okay. Damn it. Damn it. Yes. Holy fuck, dude. Alpha is dead. My heart is racing. I'm like so not even... I'm just infuriated by this entire experience. Those little fucking creepers. Even at the end there, that last creeper came up, blew up at my feet, and just really tried to ruin my day.
Hold on, Danny. You think you've beaten us? Ferris was weak, an imperfect vessel. But in that sample is the key to unlocking a centuries-old dream. That's not failure, Mr. Lee. It's progress. And it belongs to me. No, I don't think so. Please. This is no time for false heroics. Leave the sample and walk away. There's an escape pod up there. To take you back to the life you once had. We can both have everything we want. So tell me, Mr. Lee, what do you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I want my sister back, fucker!
A valiant effort. But surely you know by now, I never lose.
No. This time you do.
As if there's not more DNA. In like that little blood draw back there.
Such a waste. All this to save one life.
That was all the DNA that thing consisted of.
The data gathered here will carry the protocol to the next phase. As for you...
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Goodbye, Miss Nakamura. And Mr. Lee. I do hope you've enjoyed your stay at Black Iron.
Reactor core approaching critical.
So this way.
So he's not actually there, right? So like
Run!
him leaving was just for show.
Move!
Like him backing out of the room was just for dramatic effect. He could have just like turned off if he really wanted to.
Hurry!
Why is she in front of me?
Just keep going!
Oh, I know why. Because the floor is going to drop out and she's going to make it, but I'm not. Like has happened through this entire game.
I see pods!
There's only one.
There's just one.
Yeah, I was going to say, we sent her, right?
You don't know what you're doing!
I didn't. But I do now. I can't keep running from what I've done.
What are you talking about?
What I've done! Linkin Park starts jamming. Credits roll.
I do belong here.
Don't do this! Jacob! Jacob!
That transfer worked both ways. He learned more about me, and I learned more about him. In the chaos of the moment, I didn't realize he had also given me the evidence I was looking for all along. He sacrificed his life so that I could expose the truth. Was he trying to make up for the pain he caused, or just chasing some kind of redemption? Either way,
I was like, who cares? Ah, yes, peace. By definition, slaughtering mutated human zombie things.
Jacob, there might be a way out after all.
Reactor core temporary safeties activated.
But I'm going to need your help.
That was the end? Yeah, that was the end. Oh my god. Jacob, I need your help. We can get out of this alive, but I need your help before even finishes the sentence. Dead. How is that warden fucker still alive? First of all. If that didn't kill him, I don't know what's gonna. That's all I'm saying. I think that was the warden. Right? Oh my god, what a game. Okay. So the Callisto Protocol 2. Following either Jacob, I guess you could continue that. See, the ending there, I was satisfied before the actual ending. I was satisfied him making the ultimate sacrifice, pushing her, Danny leaving with all the evidence or whatever. Callisto Protocol 2, if it happened, would then be, you know, following Danny, right? Carrying on. But then they were like, wait, we're not ready to get rid of Jacob just yet. Last scene, less satisfying ending, at least in my mind. Which directly calls for, rather than like that could have been a bow on the game, and said like there's no necessity for a Callisto Protocol 2, but then that actual ending kind of demands for a Callisto Protocol 2. Anyway, though, let's talk about the Callisto Protocol, right? It was a walking simulator. A lot of the game was a walking simulator. Let me talk about my critiques first. A lot of the game felt like a walking simulator, but like not the kind of walking simulator that it's like there's like a great narrative behind it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, walk from here to here and you're like looking at things around you and blah 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 to progress the story. It was like walking and it was like, here's a hallway, it's a fetch quest, you gotta go get the fucking fuse, go down this hallway, and then it's just like walk, get attacked, walk, get attacked, walk, get attacked. And like when it introduced new baddies, the new baddies were dope, right? I like Big Hoss, the train boss. First appearance was like, oh shit, like this dude is top notch. This guy is the boss of this area, right? But then like you beat him once and then all of a sudden they just regurgitate him and use him for everything. Like after that first initial like, oh yeah, he's a big guy, thank God I got past him, whoo! Then it was just like, he was just everywhere. He became the new big baddie, right? The warden was a dope bad guy from start to finish. The fucking creepy crawlies that were with him were fucking annoying. But I get it, it was just like to amplify, to make it a little bit, to make it a little bit harder. I didn't mean to bump the microphone there. But I get it, but it was just so fucking stressful. It was so stressful. And I'm just like not a guy who enjoys stressful games. Like when I play a game, and like I'm not talking about like, I love survival horror. I love the stress that comes along with survival horror, like getting scared and like, whoa, like, ooh, look at that terrible looking thing. That's morbid and disturbing to look at. Like I love that shit. It's just like I don't like where it's so stressful. It's like I want to put the controller down, not because of the ambiance being stressful, not because of whatever being stressful, but because like this is too damn difficult and it's just like not fun anymore. And that's how I felt like the last little. There were some sections throughout the game, and this was the lowest difficulty. I think there are only 2 difficulties in this game. I forget. But that was like the lowest difficulty I played on, and there were some sections that were just like, oh my god, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? Like, that last boss fight was pretty straightforward. It was frustrating that I went into it, and by the time I got to the checkpoint, I was like dead. I feel like that was a major problem. Maybe this would be relevant on like the higher difficulties, but on the lower difficulty, when you die, you at least in my mind, it would make sense that you would respawn with restored like health at least, right? But no, it's like if you hit that checkpoint and you're at 0 health, you're just respawning every time with 0 health. You're respawning going into battle 1 hit away from death every time, and there's no way around it. And that was tedious, having to like not even just like having to do that fight over and over again at the end there, but having to do it before, like being like, okay, I see you boss fight, hold the phone though, because I gotta go get some fucking health real quick, or else this is all for naught. That's annoying. Having to do things to prep before the battle every single time you die. That's where like a lot of games are freaking annoying to me. And this one was definitely one of those. There was also a sequence earlier where it was like this big open area when we were out in like the tundra that I spent way too much time on, because 1, I didn't know where the hell I was actually supposed to be going. It was just this closed off area full of baddies. They were annoying. I walked in dead every time, and that one, like at least in this boss fight at the end, there was health laying around and health being dropped. That one section just did not have any health. There was nothing for me there, and that was super, super infuriating. But other than that, the walking simulator was kind of frustrating. I did get lost a couple of times. The level design, a lot of it looked very, very similar. There wasn't enough diversity in level design, in my opinion. Certainly wasn't enough diversity in, like, guns. I mean, the guns were fine. Like, I'm not going to complain about the guns. Could have been more, for sure, especially early on, but it was what it was. I'm not going to complain about that. What I will complain about was the design of the creatures was so freaking cool. From the start, dude. They were so cool, but we only got, like, 6 of them, right? There were, like, 6 bad guys through the entire game, and they just reused them for this entire campaign. I don't know how long I played this campaign for, but, like, I mentioned Big Hoss, the train boss. After his first appearance, he was just regurgitated over and over again, and that was what it felt like with all of them. The colony was a little bit different. Like, it was the second to last level, I guess, or section of the game. The colony was a little bit different because you had, like, these colonists covered in tar or whatever they were mining there. That was pretty cool. Again, they felt very much the same, though. Lead Esports Council. For what? The Colonial. The Callisto Protocol is not in any way possible to be an esport, I don't think. Jacob Lee, though, Josh Duhamel, who's a primary cast. Let me see if I recognize any of these. Zeke Alton. Sam Wentworth. Louis. Oh, it's Mahler. It's not Waller, guys. It's not Waller, it's Mahler. Caitlin Mahler. I only recognize Josh Duhamel, but maybe if I saw the real actors and actresses behind them, like Josh Duhamel, I could recognize. Maybe if I saw the real actors and actresses behind them, I would have been able to identify more of the actors and actresses. But Josh Duhamel is the only one that's recognizable at this point. Danny did look familiar, but not. I'd have to Google the actual actress behind her. But anyway, not important. Yeah, so that's kind of my general consensus on that. It did feel like a lot of it was regurgitated. It could have been a shorter game. Like, I'm not opposed to a long game. I enjoy a long game, as long as the content of the game, the actual gameplay, is sufficient and is, like, enough to justify a long gameplay. Like, people want to bitch about Call of Duty, for example. Like, Call of Duty campaigns are generally pretty short, like 6 hours, tops. This was a little bit longer than that, but it felt longer, like longer. And the reason is because it was a lot of, like, doing the same shit over and over again. And when it gets to that grindy, like, oh, fuck, before we go through here, we have to find the ID card, or we have to find another fuse that's not blown, or we have to find this, and then it's just like, oh, and it's, you know, it's not just like, oh, I have to run into the other room, get it, and come back. It was like, oh, we have to turn around, go, like, backpedal over area that we just were, only to get assaulted by more enemies that weren't there the first time. But the enemies that we see are going to be damn near identical, if not identical, to the ones we saw on first pass through. Like, that's where it gets just like, okay, it just gets tedious, you know? And so, PlayStation Studios were involved. Interesting. I wonder if this was originally supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive. I don't know. But yeah, it just wasn't... It wasn't Dead Space. And I hate to compare it to that. I mean, obviously it does have, like, a lot of the original development team from Dead Space, and also it does have that Dead Spacey vibe. Obviously, just looking at it. And playing it, that third-person shooter, survival horror in space, you know. But I don't want to just draw immediate comparisons to Dead Space, because Dead Space, in my mind, is like a classic. It's like a classic piece of video game history. So comparing things to it is just, like, not fair. Unless it's like, damn, this game was so good, I can compare it to Dead Space and be like, it's up there. Like, it ranks up there. This game definitely does not rank up there with Dead Space. It was definitely fun to look at. It was pretty fun to play for the most part. It did get repetitive. It did get tedious. The best part about the game was that it was absolutely beautiful. It was beautiful from start to finish to look at. I brought up Call of Duty. The reason I bring up Call of Duty is because Call of Duty games are notoriously short, their campaigns. They're like 6 hours tops, usually, I think. Just running through them regularly. But with that being said, they are generally, like, I want to say a thrill a minute. They're very cinematic. They're very movie-like. And I think that's the difference. Like, you can get away with being a short game, because if a Call of Duty game was that long, generally the stories are not great. So if you stretch out that too long, it's like, it just exemplifies, like, oh my god, this story sucks. Why am I still playing this? Like, Vanguard was terrible. It was short, sweet, to the point, got through it, and I was like, never picking that game up again. On the flip side, you have Call of Duty, are the new Modern Warfares. Modern Warfare 1 from 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 from 2022. Both of those were pretty solid games. Replay value is higher. And again, they're short and sweet, so it offers that replay value. The Callisto Protocol, maybe it has some replay value, but not like I'm going to sit down and just run through this real quick and have some fun. It's like it's going to take a while. It's going to be some PTSD involved, and it's going to take a while for me to be like, okay, get all of those annoying parts out of my head, let's go back in and play it. And then it might be a matter of, like, there might be parts where I'm more inclined to just rage quit and not pick up the controller again after that. This was my first playthrough, so, like, as much as I wanted to rage quit at times, I was like, no, this is the first time I'm playing the game. I have to make it through from start to finish. I very rarely rage quit a game here on Campaign Killer, but it's happened. Most notably recently with Back 4 Blood. I just did not enjoy Back 4 Blood at all. And, I mean, I did to some extent, but there were some parts that were just so stupidly hard and so stupidly annoying. And then you get to the last level. I literally made it to the final boss. I believe it was called the Abomination. I ran through it by myself, failed miserably. Ran through it with friends, failed miserably. Ran through it with randos online, thinking maybe I could find some some people that were actually good at the game online. Tried it that way, failed miserably. There was just no way of doing it, and I was just like, you know what, fuck this. Rage quit, watch the ending cutscene, because that's all it was. That was all that was left of the game, was just an ending cutscene, because I got to the very end and just couldn't do it. But maybe I'll revisit that game eventually, but just, I have no interest at this point. But yeah, so Callisto Protocol, do I want to start giving them scores? This is a long credit sequence, mind you. Do I want to start giving games scores here on the campaign, Campaign Killer when I finish games? If I had to give this out of 5, 3. I would say 3 because if you're just playing it casually, it's fun. If you don't acknowledge how tedious it gets, like if you pick up and just play it like an hour and then put the controller down, like you get bored, put the controller down, come back a month later, like, oh yeah, I just want to go kill some freaking mutant, whatever the hells, and do that kind of like, again, playing it not super seriously, I think it's fine. I think it's fun to play, and it obviously looks beautiful. The storyline, I actually love the narrative. It wasn't anything like, oh my god, this is blowing my mind, or anything like that. It was no M. Night Shyamalan twist ending or anything, but it certainly was, very beautiful. The narrative was cool. It was all around cool. There's definitely room to improve if they do decide to make a Callisto Protocol 2, which I hope they do at this point, since it did leave out on a cliffhanger. I like the story enough that I'd be willing to give a try to the Callisto Protocol 2. And obviously, like, they received their critiques now. The game released. They know what works. They know what doesn't work. I think it's a great foundation. And I think the Callisto Protocol 2 could be really, really cool if they go for it. Whether they'll go for it or not, who knows. But, you know, here are the striking babies. I guess these are all the production babies. Here's some special thanks. I won't read all of these, but with that said, that's another campaign completed, another campaign killed here on Campaign Killer, which means that's another $100 donated to cystic fibrosis research. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you jumped in at any point other than the very beginning, jump back to episode 1 of this campaign series and watch this game from the start, and you'll see what I'm talking about through my... I just spoiled the whole review there for you, but jump back into episode 1 and you'll see all the things I was just talking about and I was just addressing in my closing statement, my closing notes for the game. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Pause Games right here on YouTube. I upload new video content such as this, lots of campaigns and Let's Plays and Campaign Killer episodes, but I upload all kinds of things to the channel, upload new videos to the channel every single weekday, Monday through Friday of every single week, so you don't want to miss out on any of that content. I also do live streams from time to time, so you definitely want to get notifications for that, so ring the bell while you're subscribing to get notifications for when I upload new video content and when I do live streams here on the channel. Also, make sure to smash the like button on this video and leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know, did you play the Callisto Protocol yourself? Did you just watch along as I played it here on the channel? What'd you think of it? Let me know if you loved it and I'm just being a baby back bitch and not enjoying how difficult certain sections are. That's very possible. It's very possible. I get like that with some games. I have a short fuse and I fly off the handle and I just have this overwhelming desire to rage quit quite frequently. Metroid Dread was a game that I played recently, and that was just a hellscape for me. It was brutal. I want to get to the end of these credits here. I might cut my feed out and just cut over to just the credits here, because I feel like there might be a post-credit scene, especially with that last one just before the credits started rolling. But I think that's everything I've got to say. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time right here on Campaign Killer.